I'm Shirakawa from Transport. Thanks for having me again today.
Thank you for being here. There's something you said before that I've been curious about. I recall you clearly saying that you don't do sales.
Back in my father's day, we started out on a very small scale, and we didn't have much credibility. But he felt that taking requests directly from the horse trainers would eventually become the industry standard. It was my father's foresight, I suppose. Really, his careful planning. So, he moved to Rito. Well, he actually moved there alone, a whole year ahead of the rest of us. Then, a year later, we decided to go all in on that approach. So the whole family, myself included, we all moved out there together. Yes, that's right. We went to Rito town in Shiga Prefecture, which is now called Rito City. Since the training center is located in Rito, my father did sales there, or rather business development, talking to the trainers, and he won their trust. Our service quality was also higher than other companies, I'm sure. Because we earned that trust, our client base gradually grew over time, all leading us to where we are today.
So even without active sales, work just comes in as requests?
That's right. Well, it might be presumptuous to call it a brand, but thanks to our large market share, people know Transport will deliver anywhere within this range, and things like that. The reality is, even if we try to get new clients or do sales and ask for work now, we're already at capacity. We can't just say, please give us work, and then say, we can't deliver it. That's the reality. I've known many business owners since I was young, partly due to my environment, but since childhood, I've had many opportunities to hear stories from various business owners firsthand. Even as an adult, I had a strong independent streak and an interest in management, so I sought out those kinds of people. Even now, I have connections with business owners all over the country, and thanks to that, I'm in an environment where I can gain broad perspectives and get new information. Having seen all these different people, from startups to mid-sized companies and everyone in between from various backgrounds and experiences, and even very large corporations. The CEO is often the top salesperson. In companies where the CEO generates the most sales and profit, if the president leaves, it's usually the end of the road.
Oh, I see what you mean.
It's the same for companies with a star salesperson. If that salesperson quits to go somewhere else, or reaches retirement age and steps down, the company starts to fail immediately. After all, our service quality and our transport coverage area are our strengths, as is the number of vehicles, the size of our fleet. Well, it's true that some horse farms, unfortunately, also end up having to shut down operations, which does happen in this industry. And trainers, of course, now have a mandatory retirement age. So they usually retire when they finally reach that particular age. It's actually the same for horse owners. Some of them retire, and then eventually some pass away simply due to old age. So while we always have to keep finding new customers and maintaining our existing base, there's really no need for aggressive sales tactics.
Yes, that's right. There is usually a regular turnover of both trainers and owners in this field.
Exactly. If we don't maintain those connections, it leads to a slump. Actually, sales in this industry really isn't quite sales in the traditional sense. Even if you do call it sales, it's actually much more like what is known as route sales.
Yeah.
To put it simply, it's being an order taker.
That's a very old school way of putting it.
Yeah. People in this industry often use the term banto, but with the 2024 logistics problem and more legal changes coming in 2025, things will only get tougher. Vehicle movements are becoming increasingly restricted, so it is important for our customers to clearly understand how we can transport goods more efficiently, and also increase our overall load factors. I believe the role of our current sales staff is to handle those kinds of adjustments, which typically means making necessary changes or modifications to orders, or addressing any special requests that our clients might have during the sales process.
It sounds like there's a lot of coordinating and negotiating involved.
Well, you see, they actually don't negotiate prices at all. Or rather, to be more specific, I personally handle all of that myself.
Oh, so they don't really have to prepare quotes then?
Right. For quotes, well, there are places like public works projects where they're required to get multiple competitive bids.
Yes, that's true.
Even if it's not a job we'll get, they'll say, "Hey, Transport, can you give us a quote like usual?" Wow, just like that, even though it takes effort on our part.
There are, but
I kinda wish they'd stop being so half-hearted.
don't they feel bad about it at all?
It's a regular thing. It's probably just the custom. Well, I'm really sorry about that, but I tell my employees, it's okay to turn them down. Naturally, in my view, I can't let them waste their effort like that. We're doing this as professionals, as a business, so you can't expect someone to spend time and effort and work for free. I tell my employees it's okay to explain, that's just not how the world works. I'm not criticizing customers, but as generations change, along with the times and shifts in society, the number of people who think the customer is God is actually decreasing. Naturally, for me too, no matter how much I pay, I see the people and companies working for us as equal partners, so I've never said do this because I'm paying you or anything like that. Those kinds of customers are increasing and they're quite understanding. We have to rely on service and trust, and that culture of pursuing those is somewhat ingrained in us. We have to maintain that. We shouldn't do cheap and nasty, and overcharging isn't good either. Through service that satisfies, we have to create a situation where people say, it has to be here, it has to be So, as I mentioned at the start, earlier, a company that depends heavily on salespeople for its success will mostly go out of business as soon as those salespeople are gone. In this industry too, everyone has their own stance. There are cases where the president works hard at sales. Compared to that, some people might think, he's the president of OE Transport and he doesn't even entertain us. But then, what really is entertainment anyway? I think that a lot of things are actually born from that kind of communication, but that's usually for big clients. If you only deal with a few companies, you'd probably try even harder to entertain them. You'd do things like entertainment, or sometimes even kickbacks.
To keep things going.
Fortunately, in our particular case, we are dealing with thousands of different people, including individuals, companies, ranches, and trainers. If I entertained everyone throughout the year, how many places would I have to go in a day?
You'd have to go to a lot.
There really are some people like that, they'll say. We're having a year-end party, so chip in some cash. Or they'll ask for a kickback, well that's almost completely gone now.
Is that also an image of an old custom?
It is. Well, I suppose it's a relic from the bubble era. It might sound a bit blunt, but the vast majority of our customers don't demand things like that. So if we were to engage in those kinds of relationships, wouldn't that be disrespectful to the majority of our clients? If providing special treatment meant we could charge a significantly higher freight rate, then everyone might agree and say, oh, well, go ahead and do that. But with the same service and drivers, every single customer is important, so the treatment doesn't change. I really want my employees to adopt that same mindset as well. In short, not doing sales is because, from what I've seen in my experience, if the president is the top salesman, it's not good. Considering the long-term survival of the company, it's nothing but a risk. And that's why, fundamentally, we don't do traditional sales.
I see, okay.
We always listen carefully to our customers' needs directly. In this era of constant change, if a client is moving or expanding their base, we will take the time to discuss how we can best help and support them during those times. In those cases, we might exchange information, like saying it'll be difficult for us to transport unless things are done a certain way. Lately, I've been speaking quite frankly. Some might even perceive me as being quite arrogant, but I've started talking this way because I really want people to know the reality. All of Japanese logistics, including horse transport, is entering an era of great change. I want people to feel that, understand it, and start making various preparations. That's really what I'm hoping for.
Right. I think that covers it for this time.
Yes, thank you very much for today.
Thank you.
Ohe Transport is currently hiring drivers. Check the description for details. Please visit our recruitment or corporate site via the link. And if you're interested, we'd love for you to apply.